The Great Chicago Fire transformed this city, and we are still learning lessons from it, which is why people are so interested in items from that era.
Yeah, and one of them may seem odd. It's certainly not pretty, and you can't really tell what it is at first. But as CBS 2's Jim Williams shows us, you'll find it outside of the Chicago History Museum.
Of course, the Chicago History Museum tells the story of the Great Chicago Fire. But one of its important artifacts is actually outside.
It's not going to win a beauty contest for artifacts.
It's not pretty, but here it is, on the corner of LaSalle and Clark. The fire was so intense it melted hardware together in the basement of a store near State and Randolph more than 150 years ago.
Right here, for example, it looks like maybe the tip of a nail.
It's been called a blob, but Chief Historian Peter Alter says its proper name is the fire relic.
This is a relic that, for some people, touching it, looking at it, thinking about it, takes you back 150 plus years.
The museum got the relic when excavators found it. At one point, it was right near a museum entrance, but back in the 1980s, it was moved near some bushes. Now it has its own plaza, where visitors can see it, touch it, and think about the city that rebuilt after the devastating fire.
For some folks, it speaks to the city's fortitude, the city's resilience.
Jim Williams, CBS 2 News.
They say that the proof of Chicago's resiliency is that about 20 years after the fire, the city hosted the Columbia Exposition World's Fair. And I love that there's something that you can really see and touch that just immediately transports you.
Yeah, and all of that reminds me of the book, The Devil in the White City.
Yes,
have you ever read it?
I have.
A fantastic read about that whole era, the fire, the World's Fair, and there is a little bit of a serial killer in there too.
Okay,
but
small note.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert if you haven't read it.
Spoiler alert. But it alternates chapters, and it's a fascinating read.
It's a great balance of fiction and history. Well,